Chào mọi người, cảm ơn các bạn đã đến chương trình phỏng vấn của Advertising Việt Nam hôm nay. Thì tập số 2 của AdTalks kỳ này thì chúng ta sẽ tìm hiểu một chủ đề về là experience, trải nghiệm người dùng ở trong ngành quảng cáo và truyền thông. Thì hôm nay là Trung đã mời đến trường quay hôm nay là hai vị khách mời. Đó thứ nhất là anh Sagar, hiện tại đang là Chief Experience Officer của PublicisOne, và anh Tiến là Managing Director của Digipencil MVV. Thì trước đây anh Huy đã từng làm là Experience Director của Ogilvy Việt Nam. The first question we'd like to discuss today that's about the experience. So I think that why the advertising industry they create a new title about experience, like experience officer, like experience director, and chief experience.
Well, I had this title from since we were at Who Digital. So Who Digital was one of the first, I guess, digital marketing agency in Vietnam, and then they got acquired by Ogilvy. So I got this title from quite long ago. And at that time, I don't really get it. And I have to learn about what it means for why my boss gave me that kind of title. And I realized one thing. I realized that the advertising industry have changed completely because the consumer changed. So as a creative agency, we usually focus on creating ideas that will produce good video content. The video content could be in TVC, in online, and etc. But as we see that the customer chain, they require two-way communication. So it's all about interacting with them. A brand is not about just showing your face everywhere, trying to get everybody to remember you anymore. But it's about interacting. It's about stepping into their culture. And at the end of the day, we realize that to do that, we're not only creating TVC or online videos or pre-net or not online banners or anything. All of those are experience. And it's not user experience, it's customer experience. So the whole, the role of the agency changed. The agency is shifting from helping clients develop this creative idea from a communication strategy to produce the kind of content into produce the experience. So it could be a website, could be an application, it could be anything. It could be a machine that it works in store. So that's why the role of the creative people in the company changed. So I was a creative. I started my career as in creative technology. So I was Flash developers before. I developed Flash games, Flash websites back to the time when ActionScript was the king of everything. Yeah. And I also do designs. I was an art director at Who Digital before. And then because I have that both background, the technology and the creative side, so probably I was a good guy to be in the position of creating ideas about experience.
And how about Sagar? Why do you think that's advertising they just have the new title?
I think like he said, just to build on what he said, I think the key aspect to notice over here is that it started in the technology space.
Okay, technology.
Yeah. It started because of user experience. I mean, that's where the term comes from, experience. Experience can be considered everything, right? Advertising, posters, retail, everything that you do for a brand is interacting with the consumer and ultimately translates into brand experience, customer experience. But the term experience or the practice of experience began after technology started taking more and more, playing a stronger role in the brand and marketing business, I would say. So yes, technology experience can be applied to communication, and experience can be applied to technology, and experience can be applied to everything that a brand does. But currently, if we have to tangibly measure experience, I think is more focused on the technology space. Like you're talking about apps, platforms, websites, This is where you can tangibly deliver an experience. Of course, as we move forward, it's expanding to communication, messaging matrix, dynamic creative. All of that is eventually also ending into experience. It's a step-by-step process, and with Vietnam, I think we are really proud that we are doing this at a very early stage. I mean, he started in 2009, right? So, I mean, that's almost 7-8 years back. But yes, experience as a practice ultimately will become what consumers interact with, right? Products and services, products are becoming services today. So that service is going to be how the customer is going to judge you. So today we sell a detergent, tomorrow we might sell laundry as a service maybe, right? If you look at BMW in Europe, they do sell cars, but they also have something which is a service that you can get into a car, and it's like a rent-a-car service. You open the car, you enter, you get out, and you pay online. So it's a service that you're providing. Mobility is as a service. So products are becoming services, and services will need to be looked at through an experience lens, because that's how they judge it.
Okay, you are the CXO in PublicisOne. Just tell me the key task of your responsibility.
On a day-to-day basis, people ask me, what do you do? You know, even in office. What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? But it becomes, I think my role starts working with the strategy, creative, and media across, right? Because ultimately what we need to make sure is that we deliver a consistent experience across touch points. So whether it's social media, whether it's billboards, whether it's retail, how can we maintain a consistent experience across touch points? So that we employ tools from technology like, mapping user journeys, empathy mapping, personas, all of the tools that we do, we take that and we deploy it across touch points, not just to technology anymore. So that is, so on day-to-day basis, based on the project, the tasks change. But in general, I would say strategy of how to deliver the experience per se based on user research, not conventional user research, but design research. We use design research is much different from quantitative and qualitative. I mean, those are tools and practices and stuff like that which we have been doing. But design research, when it comes to technology, prototyping. We prototype. You can even prototype a piece of communication, right? So I think employing these tools and applying it to different touch points in medium is something that ideally we should be doing in the advertising business as we move forward. I'm not saying that we do it on a day-to-day basis, but wherever there is an opportunity, we do it. But currently, like I was telling you before this meeting, before this discussion, there is a big emphasis from clients on programmatic. Programmatic buying is something that the clients are asking for more and more, right? So how do we create creative for programmatic, right? So that is part of a small part, nonetheless, of the overall experience delivery. So how do we create creative? So if we take, by definition, programmatic buying means a contextual situation. So I am sitting with Hui in Starbucks. It's noon, and we need to show him or me an ad. So geolocation, LinkedIn connection, plus time of day, right? And we are in Starbucks, so maybe we can have an offer ad of 2 for 1. But if we don't do that, if we have programmatic buying and we just plaster the same banner across, then that's not efficient use of programmatic buying. So I think that is also part of what I currently would be saying, doing, how to design dynamic creative.
Okay, just a question, would like to ask both guys that the structure and I think that the model of advertising agency maybe changed recently. They changed a lot of agency. They switching from digital agency become a more from creative agency, and they merge together. Or the creative agency, they also build the in-house team like production team. They can handle on the start, like the guy we interviewed last week from Happiness. Happiness is also the creative agency, and I switched Ghoting. Still called a creative agency, but had an innovation team. I think that maybe he can answer this question. I think that the model of advertising agency can be changed.
Absolutely. If the internet had changed something completely, it would be the communication industry. So you can see there's a lot of challenges to the holding groups in the communication industry when we see the consulting firms taking away the businesses from communication just because they are more into the business strategy and into customer experience rather than the creative agency still thinking of ideas for TVC, for key visuals, and all of that. So the advertising industry is changing. They know that. Everyone knows that we have to change. What is the model? It's hard to say that what is the perfect models for each of the companies. But in Digipencil, we started from scratch from 2014. So it's the good thing is that we can build everything up. So the model that we build, Digipencil is a creative agency of the connected edge. We're trying to combine the three elements to create ideas. So the first element obviously is always the insight. So it came from a strategist who use all of the research practice to dig into the insight. And then we come up with a creative idea. It could be a creative message, it could be visualized as a key visual, but also we have the third element is a technology experience, like you said. So it could be a web, mobile, sometimes it could be an internal system. Sometimes we solve a problem that is not in marketing. So this creative agency that we built, Digipencil, we are not only an advertising agency. We want to solve business problem in three areas: the marketing, operation, and distribution. So in each of these, we create ideas to have connect with different kind of stakeholders, and of course, it involves the technologies a lot. So we also have TVC. We also develop TVC. We have social campaigns. We use influencer, online videos. Sometimes we call it viral videos. We have apps, websites, all of that. And we have a model that we build. We call the channel strategy. Because the great things of those is that how do we connect all of these channels together? So yeah, we change from the way we operate, change from our positioning, our services, so we expand into other areas, change to the way we approach ideas, the way we structure our team. So for example, in Digipencil we have the account team we call the client success team, the creative team we call them the innovative team, the tech team we call them the solution team, the strategy team we call them the consulting team. So it's represent the way we want to change. Sometimes it's hard to explain to clients. Yes. Sometimes they just see us like a typical digital agency, which we are not. Sometimes they see us as a creative agency, a typical creative agency, which we are not either. So we have to explain and show them case studies. We have to show them what we do. And it's getting there. So people understand it, and we started to provide different kind of service towards what we want to do.
I think that's an excellent space to start, you know. For me, I don't think there has to be a model. I don't think there has to be a model. The future, the model will be dictated by the problem that the client has, right? And in the future, I think there should be multi-talented, not should be, but there would be, I think, multi-talented, multi-skilled individuals who are capable of coming at a problem from different angles and solving a business problem, and then leveraging individual skill sets, let's say creative ideation, craft, media buying. I mean, there are different skill sets, but at the end of the day, the model cannot be archaic. It cannot be the old model. You know, P&G's global head of marketing, I don't know his exact title, but Mark Pitchard, yeah, he said recently that we need to cut the fat between the brand and the consumer, right? We are in the ideas of creating, we are in the business of creating ideas, right? But there are so many people between the brand and the creative. By the time the brand team interacts with the creative, it's a very long time, and then we need to get to the consumer. So he is asking agencies to cut the fat, right? He is reducing, P&G plans to reduce the budget by $1.2 billion apparently by 2020. Imagine the impact it's going to have on our industry. We really need to get lean. We really need to have people who can do more than one task. We need to have people who understand business problems and solving business problems. Creatives cannot be art directors only. They need to be creative business solvers, right? And then the model becomes, there is no model. You define, you tell us the problem. It's being an entrepreneur. You have to have an entrepreneurial mindset, or you need to bring an entrepreneurial mindset to a marketing problem, because that's how you will solve. And then we have our own individual skill sets to deploy what we come up with as a solution. But that's what marketing is, I mean, marketers are looking for. And that's what, I mean, of course, consultancies are doing a lot more in different kinds of ways, but at the end of the day, consultancies are buying out brand agencies as well. So that's a clear indication that our role is not going anywhere. But also technology is a very huge aspect that agencies need to embrace and understand. Even if they can't deploy it themselves, they need to understand how it works.
Okay. Just a final question for discussion today. Do you believe that the traditional agency maybe will run in the next few years?
It's already gone.
Yeah, I think it's already gone. So one of the agency now is moving. If not in the local levels, then in the regional level and global levels. So they definitely change.
I think it's imminent. It's not even a choice, right? But again, it all depends on what you mean by traditional. I don't think advertising as a function or communication as a function is going to stop. It will stay, right? But how it works or how it operates is going to change. And most of it is dictated by technology, right? So all the touch points will stay. These are all big questions. Will TV die? I can only guess, but at the end of the day,
TV still here.
There's a TV. But TV is video, right? And video is there. Video is not there to die, right? How we deliver TV might change, right? People's habits might not go to a TV channel. People might go to Netflix, right? But they still consume content in video format, right? And when it becomes digital, you can, I mean, in developed markets, you already have programmatic TV, right? Programmatic content on TV. So I think traditional communication will manifest itself into new ways of interaction, communication. But I think traditional idea will always be king. You see, there will have to be a brand. Again, this is only the near future. After that, nobody knows.
Okay, I think that's enough for our discussion today. Do you have any something to share? Sagar?
I think for the takeout from this discussion, I would want to share with everyone, especially the brand, is that we need to consider integrated in a different way. So integrated used to mean that there's one consistent creative message, one consistent visual across the touch point. But now integrated meanings develop experience across the touch point, across the customer. It's consistent is one thing, but it's also connected together. So you need to define what each of the role of each of the channel is, and what's the different experience that you will provide in each of the channel. It's not just like one consistent message will be spread out in a different way. So that's why it will make a difference, because now consumer is not only in one or two channels, a few channels anymore, and the way they interact with the channel is very, very different. So we can be around them, creating experience in a different way, definitely different from video content to other kind of formats, into experience, into in-store. Everything could be connected together. And the most important thing is to define the role of each channel.
Correct. And to close that, I would say everything has to ultimately deliver ROI for the client. It doesn't have to be monetary only. It can be brand building, or it can be monetary as well. But those KPIs have to be defined right in the beginning, because then we can measure them in the right way. And this is all possible due to technology.
Okay. Thank you both for coming today for the interview.